Welcome to the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular, featuring top 10s, live plays, contests, and more.
Hey, welcome back to the...
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spring Spectacular. My name is Next Time Bryan. We'll get you.
So close.
Okay. Welcome out to the Dice Tower's second top 10 nature games of this Spring Spectacular.
The first list was invalid, basically.
Why?
Tom called an audible and he said, we got to do a real nature games list.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing here. My name's Chris Yee.
I'm Camilla. Nope.
So I forgot we're rolling around to the
That's
right.
right, like we always do. I am Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Roy Kennedy.
Now you go.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
I'm
That's Bryan Drake.
And this is why you can't host,
Top
Bryan.
10 nature games. That's it. Okay, I read the screen right.
Did you do the
Nailed
list
it.
right?
I thought it said nurture games, so all mine are about parenting, so I don't know.
Oh, about parenting?
Yeah.
That's how you parent.
That'd be a fun list to do.
Nurture.
I have Fog of Love,
No.
number one.
Okay, then.
All right, so we're doing our top 10 nature games here. A list that has no ambiguity to it whatsoever.
Nature.
No possible question as to what counts as a nature game.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Not at all.
Not
so.
at all subjective either.
Nothing
Right.
supernatural in these games at all.
It's so funny for me because like I was making this list and Chris was sitting there and he just heard me complaining the entire time. I'm like, nature games. I'm like a nerd, okay? Like I like sci-fi, I like fantasy. I'm like Lord
And
of the
I
Rings
love
is nature, right?
houseplants.
Yeah.
It's not.
So, I struggled with this list.
You
I
struggled the same way Roy and I did of nature games.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I
this was your list.
It
You
was
better have enjoyed
so
it.
hard.
You better have liked it.
No, this was like the most stressful experience
Because
of my
you had
Dice
too
Tower
many to put on
career
it?
because I could not get it down for the life of me
I could
under
barely put 10.
16.
I went outside and
it
cut
was so
grass
painful. I
to
think.
prepare.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. It was so painful to do this list because, and I think, coming to defense of the other people who did the top 10, I think that there's a couple ways to look at this. You know, is it nature because it's about nature, which theme versus setting,
The old
versus does it
make
right? You know, so is it a theme of setting or the theme of nature, the setting of nature, or in my case, the way I ordered it is the ones that make me feel the most like in tune with nature, puts me in nature. You know, it makes me appreciate nature or have some aspect about it to where I'm really kind of just, I guess, getting into that theme of it, you know, or have some appreciation of it.
For me,
oh, yeah,
most of
sorry.
my stuff, because it's made out of cardboard, therefore I assumed it was all nature
That's right.
because they were made from trees.
True.
So
Oh my
therefore,
gosh.
any game can
Yeah,
make the list.
Any game.
Guys,
It's
you're
joke.
killing me.
It's a joke.
It
My
better
list
be a
is
joke, but it
involved.
wasn't funny.
Well, I mean, I laugh, but I have a low bar.
You always laugh.
I have a low bar. I'm jovial. My list is actually mostly about, in that first vein that you mentioned, about basically what games I like the best that also feel naturey. So it's kind of like, it's not about, the number one is not more naturey than number 10. It's which game I like better set in nature or that I play in nature.
So
That's
you're more
false.
like setting, whereas I think I'm
Yeah.
more theme.
That's
My
right.
list is very theme, and which one puts me in that I feel like really
Oh.
brings out something. So,
like
and since
it.
I know nature more, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, nature is natural and only natural. I just want to keep reiterating that.
There's humans in my
I
list.
disagree.
Some people have the idea that there's no humans in nature. And
That's false.
I hate to break it to you, but there's humans in my list, but it's about appreciation of nature.
There's
So-
also humans
All
in
right.
this room.
If
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
nature, I'll go outside. That's.
Well, let's go.
Here's my list.
On that really intense note, let's go.
Top 10 pictures of Roy standing outside confused.
What?
That would be amazing.
What is
actually.
tree? Why
yeah.
leaves?
Let's go ahead and kick
Also,
it off.
Ray, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Ray.
Am I kicking it off? Hi. All right, my number 10 is at the top of the list. Okay, so my number 10 is one, like I said, it really, I think it grabs that theme of nature, and this one is endangered. What I think it does is it puts you in that conservationalist mind, you know, where you're going out, you're working cooperatively, trying to save the animals. And I really like that the animals have their different personalities depending on the scenario that you play with it. You know, if you're playing on this side of the board, you have the forest fires coming out. If you're playing on the ocean side of the board, then you have the oil spill coming
Plastic
out.
straws.
You're gonna find a plastic straw later. You know, I'll let you imagine where.
Why does my aorta hurt? I don't know. Sorry.
So I really like this one because I think, again, it just gives me such an appreciation for nature, and with that conservational mindset where you're going in and you're saving it, you're learning about it, you're sticking up for it. I just really like what it brings in this theme. So my number 10 is Endangered.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks, Roy.
The falling apart of nature.
My number 10 is a game all about basically. I wanted to keep the integrity of this list pure and not kind of mess around or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that we found a game all about finding plants and connecting them to other plants, which is why I picked So Clover for my number 10 list. It is a game. It is not nature. Look, okay, the rest of my list is pure.
Oh my gosh, you're serious.
No, I'm serious. Look,
Clovers are
I'm
nature,
looking
right?
and I'm disgusted. No, you're kidding me
I
right
had
now.
another game pop in my head just a minute ago. I was like, that would have counted too, but I didn't do it. So Clover's on the list, but because it's great, it features clovers, but the game
I
is
felt bad about my
What?
list, and then I saw
Look,
this on Bryan's, and I was like, okay, I'm
You're
good.
like, I'm good.
The
I know
other
nature. I
9
thought nature was
games.
natural.
Well, clovers are natural.
That's how clovers grow.
But
That's right.
that clover's made out of plastic.
Yeah, well, have
Brian.
you never seen a plastic clover?
Okay, I feel like I need to read you a text message that I got from Joey, right? Where he was like, hey, do you think So Clover is nature? Will I get beat up for it? And I don't even know what I put back. Some like probably
first
derogatory
choice-
emoji, right?
My first choice
Like-
was WWE WrestleMania Royal Rumble because it has the Nature Boy in it, and I was like, I don't think they'll count that. But anyway, So Clover is a fun party game. The rest of my games list is pure to the list, no shenanigans at all.
So what you're telling me is you like 9 nature games.
That's all I heard. I don't know.
Only 9
We
good
don't know
nature
yet,
games.
all right? I don't know.
To be
I
fair,
don't
I
trust
watched
him.
how to
Let me
play
look at my
Earth Later,
list.
and it would have made
There's
my
not.
list had I played it. I could already tell. So I watched how to play it last night. So I'm saying Earth would have made my list had I played it yet instead of
Brian's
the
number
next one.
10.
I'm
Earth.
speechless.
There you go.
we decided it's not So Clover.
I love this pick.
We're doing your
It's a good pick, Roy.
Good pick, Brian.
Thank you.
No. Good pick because we can pick on you. All right.
Oh, I'm next.
My
Yes.
list looks like gold.
Nailed it.
All right, so my number 10 is slightly nature themed, but it is a dexterity flick and right game, but it's set in the desert, and this is Sonora.
Yeah.
So this has your nature theme on it, as far as like the fact of it's like desert
This was on
stuff,
Wendy's
desert
list, right?
animals, all sorts of
This was
different
on Wendy's
stuff.
list.
This is a cute little game where you're flicking the disc kind of crokinole style, and based on where your discs land, you get to cross off different things on your little nature path and things like that, and
like
kind
it.
of like do all sorts of stuff. It gives you that deserty nature feel, even though normally when you think of
Does
nature,
it?
you think of,
Well, we all have a nature path, and
I mean, it's a
Yeah, you
rolling right as much
feel.
as you can do
I guess
that.
it makes you feel like a desert because it's dry
Right,
and
yes.
you're bored.
Can I leave the list? Like, am I allowed to quit? Come on, Camilla.
Yeah, I do like
And
Sonora. I
quickly,
do like
it's
the
quickly.
game.
It's better than
it's not-
4-leaf clover game. That's
You know what? You're right.
How dare
Really,
you.
yes, you're right. This is great.
I don't. Okay,
This is acceptable.
fine. My number 10 is Sonora.
And my number 10, Brian, go ahead and read this one right here.
I believe it is also Sonora.
Sonora.
Number one
Yes!
crossover.
I was wondering if you were going to forget this or not. I knew you
No,
like this
absolutely
game.
not. No, I mean, this
Two
one,
people on the list. That means it's valid.
Yeah.
This
Oh
was
my
one I
gosh.
had to think of later.
Is that how that works?
Do you have So
Do you have So
Clover on
Clover? No, but Joey almost did. How do you feel about that?
I'll take it as a win. I'll take it as a win.
It's a magician thing. I don't understand.
We get it. All of the magicians.
I will say
Feel like
there's
killing me.
a few little touches in here that I think are good, right? Is that like it's mini games. You're flicking out the
Yeah,
discs to have numbers to do in the mini games. The top left one, super boring. But I like the other 3 tremendously. Doing Tetris cacti,
is
you know,
pretty cool.
that's not very naturey. But I like the other ones, the Riverhead, the Delta. I think that one makes sense. It's a decent way to, in a pretty abstract, themeless game, tie a little bit of that nature kind of thing to it. And then the bottom right one, I think, is like it's like a dried riverbed. You know,
Yeah.
where like the dried sand kind of the mud dries up and cracks into these different areas. So you're kind of surrounding those different cracks.
That's cool.
I like that. It's a nice little set dressing. This is my least naturey feeling
But it's
one.
a 7.5
Yeah,
for you.
I'll give
clearly.
you all a
Yes.
slide. It's 10. Yeah, that's
and
good.
it's going to move up from here. I think my
Okay.
number 1 ones make me kind of feel more immersed into nature, and this is my like weakest one thematically. That's how I structured my list. So
That's good.
Okay.
That's my number 10, Sonora.
It's a good game. So my number 9 is the one that I was most nervous about presenting because I thought
about a minute ago.
until about a minute ago, and I'm great. I don't think I'm gonna catch anything for this, but no, it is Spirit Island, and again, it's number 9 because I recognize that it has the fantasy kind of element to it, right? I recognize that it is also a fantasy game. However, we're talking about games that make you appreciate nature, put you in nature, have some element, something like that, right? And I love this game because you are playing as those elements of nature. You know, you are playing as the lightning. Right. You are playing as the big, unwielding mountain who refuses to go. And so much personality is in these spirits, and so much personality of nature in the cards that you're playing. You know, I mean, there's one where there's this one spirit that plays the mind games, and so he goes in and gives them nightmares. And because of that, you're increasing you're adding fear to the game. You know, so there's so much just theme in this game, and it's all based around nature. You are playing as the elements of nature. You are playing as the island and the things that make it up. You know, and kind of shaping it as you go, and I really like that dynamic. So I know that this one, yes, it does have that fantasy to it because. Well,
it's a
there's
game.
not really. It's a game. There's not really like a fire god, you know. But to me, to each his own. I don't know. Oh my God! We need to start a religious debate. But
you've been doing the Euthyphro dilemma on here. Now you got fire god denial. This is getting heated already. Jerusalem again.
So for me, again, this one is a nature game because I see that nature element to it. You know, if you're playing a certain card and it has the wind and the fire, oh cool, it's a wildfire, and that's that's why you have to do this different stuff to the elements. So you're shaping the island as you go with the cards you play and with your specific powers.
I had jokes ready about the Natural Science Museum having the fire god's tears in it, but now actually you've justified it in a pretty well way, I have to say.
But how do you feel about this being a crossover with Joey?
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, well, I mean, as long as you're fine with it.
Mainly because
you don't have the guilt.
Because he didn't pick So Clover. He was smart enough to not put So Clover on his list.
He did Terraforming Mars.
He's great. So anyway, I like it. I see the nature. This one makes me feel in nature and appreciate what it can do and kind of the power behind it. And so for me, this is a nature game.
There you go.
It is a theme of nature.
I still really need to play this. I've never played.
I haven't either.
Oh, I think
is the short one, like the Target one, as good or not? The Horizons or whatever?
She's got a whole video on that. You should watch it.
You should watch it.
You do video?
Have you heard of the Dice Tower? Let me send you a link.
Yeah, it's me a link.
Okay.
For sake of time, we'll have that conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
Just kidding.
Okay.
No, but I like this because of your point of like the powers of nature.
Yeah.
Like if this game was basically just about, from the human perspective, the mythology of this island kicking their butts,
Right.
people would be like, yeah, that's nature.
Yeah.
That's
true. Yeah.
You're just in the driver's seat of the forces of nature.
Yes,
So I like
exactly.
it.
And so you are playing as nature.
Yeah,
It's good.
And I like that.
Well, my number 9 is a game that I have strong feelings about both ways because I do play a couple characters on here. I play the heel. That's not really who I am. I play that I'm dumber than I am. I'm obviously a pretty intelligent person. This one, I do have another character of me that is the opposition person. Like if something gets hot, I go, I don't want that. I don't want to play that. Which is why number 9 is Wingspan for me. Number 9 is a game that people love. I like it a lot. I do bristle when it's like, this is the greatest game ever made. I'm like, it's good, all right, but those eggs are pretty wild. But this game is beautiful. You can't deny that. Best Soul's art is some of the best art in gaming, period. The tray, the design, all of it's great. The action selection, making your actions better, it's just a really, really well done game. But again, the part of me that goes, oh, Pandemic Legacy's number 1, I don't want to play that. And then I was like, oh, I love this game. So, Wingspan number 9.
My number 9 pick.
Crossover?
Hopefully we'll get, no.
Okay.
This is not going to go on anybody else's
nervous
list. This is a kid's game, and this is a game that I really enjoy. It has animals in it, therefore nature.
Memoir?
This is Animal Upon Animal.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Listen, I went hard when I had to figure out these nature games because nature isn't normally my thing, but this is a game that I've played time and time again with my kids. I literally played it last weekend and had a blast with it. You're stacking all these cute little animals on it, and it gives you that zoo type feeling or like nature type feeling. There's got like a bajillion different like styles of the Animal Upon Animals with different animals in it. It's just a cute little hobby game that you can play with your kids and family. And I had a blast playing this with Emma and Logan over the weekend. So.
It is fun. It really, really is. Our kids have the unicorn version or whatever, and it's just a
that
blast.
not nature.
Yeah. No, well, we don't know.
I was going to say, right, this, for anyone who thinks like, oh, is Roy even trying? He didn't put Super Battle on here.
No.
There's been no Marvel games yet.
I mean, I said at the beginning, like, nature's not something I gravitate towards normally, but legitimately, I play this game a lot with my kids, so it's making
I have
my
a question.
list.
What species is Rocket Raccoon? Is it raccoon? That would count. Marvel Champions coming up next.
There you go.
I'm dying.
But yeah, I love Animal Upon Animal, and I'll continue to
pick.
put it on my list just to make people cringe. It's fun.
Yep.
My number 9.
Success.
My number 9 is an abstract tile laying game. So once again, starting least naturey, and it's going to be progressing more.
Oh, it's a good game. Sorry.
My number 9 is called Seikatsu.
It's a great game.
This is a really nice one that's talked about less than it should be.
I agree.
It's a very nice, serene game. And this is why it kind of makes it for me, is that it is, you're placing out a tile that has a picture of a bird on it, and you're trying to score groups of birds together, and then at the end of the game, if you're like the pink player, then you are trying to look at those lines from the pink side, and you want to have the most flowers in it. So you're scoring immediate points and then end game points based on the two different parts of the tile. It is just kind of a serene game. It makes me appreciate the nice bird illustrations. Is it super thematic? Absolutely not. But it's a really great game that apparently Bryan liked.
I
didn't
love
know
it.
that.
It's very,
I've
very
never
good.
heard of this.
Our friends Andy and Jordan have a copy of this, and we played it quite a few times. It's something. Is it 3 players it's best at, or 4? It's one of those player
It
counts.
goes up to 3 only.
That's 3. That's what was weird about it. I was like, oh, this is a beautiful game. The tiles are beautiful. I love the mechanics of laying those things out there and the flowers. It's a blast. That's a good pick, and I forgot about it.
Yeah, I really like this one. Like I said, it's more of that I appreciate something. It's like just appreciating the outdoors through your window. That's how naturey it feels. Like, look at that tree. That's a beautiful tree.
Look at that. Look at that boulder. That's a nice boulder.
There you go. There you go.
My number 9, Seikatsu.
He did so well, and then you had to ruin it for you. Ruined that pick.
Anytime I join you on your side, be ready.
Chris, I was up behind.
Let's keep it moving.
All right, my number 8, I'm going to jump right into it here, is Cascadia. Cascadia I like, and again, this one is, the number 8 doesn't, I don't think, do justice to my enjoyment of this game, just like Spirit Island, obviously my number 1 game. I really, really like this game, but again, how naturey do I feel?
Right.
You know, I really like this one because you're kind of shaping your land here, trying to, shape your land and see the animals and position them correctly, and I do see it more as a puzzle game, but it has such a good nature, right? It's very abstract, but it does have such good artwork, which I think immerses you into the theme, even if the gameplay doesn't put you in that theme. I
agree.
And so to me, that's why this one's a nature game, and why it's so high is because that gameplay is really, the gameplay itself, even though it's abstracted from the theme, it's very engaging, as well as the artwork gives you that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
I think the objective cards elevates it a bit.
Yeah.
In terms of how naturey is it.
And it's easy to
It
spot
does.
the
Of bears,
birds.
salmon runs.
For me,
Right.
it's
How
the
are the
pine
eagles
cones.
hunting?
It's the pine cones.
The pine cones.
Very good. Very good.
The cardboard.
Cardboard,
So what it is,
it's
yeah,
made
the
out of-
cardboard, which is
the pine
natural.
cones are
so,
wood. The cardboard is wood.
So anyway, so I really,
the same
really
material
like
that
this
counts.
game. I think I like it more than some others even coming up on my list here.
Yeah.
It's just that this one, because the theme is so abstracted from it, it's a little bit lower. But that being said, I really do think that it gives you that feeling of nature because of the illustrations, because of the cards that kind of sell a little bit of personality to the animals, that kind of stuff.
I feel the same way about So Clover. I like it more than games that are higher on my list, too.
Stop taking my side.
Please
Do
don't
not back me up on any of my picks.
We don't have to keep mentioning So Clover. We can just ignore that it happened.
Pretend it did
It
not
could be like
happen.
the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, this is Indiana Jones 4 coming out next month, right?
Exactly.
So my number 8 is Cascadia.
So this is really funny. The last time I played Cascadia was with you, and it is also my number 8 pick.
What?
Yep. You taught to play it.
Stop agreeing with her.
Look,
I do not remember playing this one.
we played it at the Summer Spectacular last year. So what's funny is, if you slap Beth Sobel's art of an animal onto a card, I'm looking at this for a couple hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a gorgeous looking game. I do like the puzzly aspects of like, okay, dang, how do how do I make this bird score correctly instead of screwing it up like I do every time? Is it the bird the one that I was like, that you can be like, it has to be in a straight line or something like that? There's one of them that you have to score really
I don't remember
finicky.
playing with you, so I don't know.
Well, irrelevant to that fact. I thought I made a mark on people, but apparently I'm forgetting. You know, I'm just going to leave. No, anyway, Cascadia is a great looking game. It's a good puzzle. It's fun. I can't, Camilla did a great job kind of describing it too. So if you haven't played Cascadia, it's easy to pick up and play, and it's cheap and you can find it everywhere.
It's fantastic. It is a fantastic game.
I love the Pacific Northwest. It's just okay. It's no so cool.
My number 8, I wouldn't pick like
doing
that,
good.
like that game or whatever, but my number 8 is actually Cascadia.
What?
Oh, let's go!
They crossed over on the same number. I was trying to be a little quiet with that, but yeah. So everything you guys said, animals, pine cones. You said pine cones. No, I said pine cones.
You did.
Pine cones were mentioned.
I like you try to fade the heat of pine cones. You said pine cones, right?
Oh wait, no, that was me.
Anyway, it's a fun game. I mean, it is abstract, but it's cool. Like the way you set up the different landscapes, and you're trying to put the animals in the correct landscapes and try to maximize the points off of it. And the animals have different flavor based on the stuff. It's a fun game, and it's a well-regarded game. So Cascadia, my number 8.
That's good.
Crystal, let us down.
Chris,
I'm letting you
jump
down.
in.
I'm absolutely letting you down.
You're invalid.
This was really close to making my list.
We can get Mike to switch it real quick.
Yeah, will you just put Cascadia up there. Did any of y'all put Cascadia as number 8 by any chance? That's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
All right, you're surrounded by fools. No, my number. My number 8. Now remember that I'm going sillier to more naturey.
Got it.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 8 is mountain goats. This is
Okay.
like, how naturey is this? Not terribly, but kind of like you're saying with Cascadia, right? It's set dressing. I like the art. Goats do actually climb up mountains and stuff.
They do.
I've heard.
So this is a good
heard of
retheming.
goats.
Heard.
See?
I got it.
Okay.
So this is a good retheming. Originally, this game literally came out with no theme. It was called Level X, I think it was. And it was just, you roll dice and then you move up circles up on cards and you collect points.
That's pretty
interesting.
naturey too, though.
Right, but this is, no, actually not right.
Oh, God.
Sorry. I shouldn't
I was like,
even,
you sold it, and they're like, what did I just agree with?
yeah, I shouldn't even feign to be listening to you at the moment.
or ever.
But the mountain goat theme, it's silly. I like the idea of being the king of the hill. You start scoring points and racking up a lot of points
Bobby.
as you get up there and kick the other one down. That is the first sane thing that you've said.
It's good, right?
in the last half hour. So,
Bobby,
yeah.
if you weren't my
Dang it,
son,
Bobby. Dad, what do we do if they want their steaks well done? We ask them kindly but firmly to leave. My number 8, mountain goats.
My number 7 is a game that is good,
That's
and
good.
it's about nature.
You're in the
So
right
it's on the
zone.
list, and it's valid. My number 7 is.
Bryan is really thrown down. I feel like,
I don't know how to feel about this.
I'm not mentioning anyone specifically. No. My number 7 is the Wolves,
outsider.
and I like this one because I feel like it is, again, you're playing as a pack of wolves, right? You're building your pack. You're going out.
Wolf
you're
pack.
expanding territories, and so it's the nature of this territorial animal, right? And this pack animal,
Right.
and I really like that you can see that and feel that as you're building your pack and you're trying to figure out where you're going to put your dens and where you're going to camp down versus, do you have the right terrains at what time? I really like, again, it's a nature game, but a different aspect of it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we think nature games, we think, oh, flowers and trees.
Yeah.
No. Animals are nature too, or animals, something like that.
That's
Like
right.
actually
Nature's
getting
red
in and
and tooth and
being an
claw.
animal in this one, I think is really unique. Because you're playing as the pack of animals, making these decisions for your pack, and recruiting others. You're increasing your howl, your strength, all these things. And so I just really think that it showcases a different part of nature, getting to play in, again, as a piece of nature.
That's pretty cool.
So my number 7 is the Wolves.
My favorite part of the Wolfpack is definitely Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Sting. But anyway, no one catches that reference. If you do, let me know in the comments. My number 7
more
is the
obscure
game.
reference. I
That's
can't root
right.
for the Wolfpack. You know me. Let's go. Also, Joey, get out of the chat. You're here.
I was just about to say, like, Joey's there and here. It's really confusing me. My number 7 is a game. I don't know if any of y'all have played. Maybe you have. It came out last year from WizKids. This is another beautiful game set in the Pacific Northwest. Similar feel to Cascadia, but this is Yosemite. Yosemite is a game in which
I
you
didn't
are.
play this one.
You haven't played it? No, it's pretty cool. You have a set of tiles of animals laid out, and you're going to move your little I don't know, hiker or whatever they call it around onto the animals, and which animal you move onto is what you get to do for your next movement. You're trying to collect things, trying to collect the goods and stuff that are there so that you can, it is a tug of war game. That track you see there it's a 2-person tug of war, and it's based on points you get points to try to win first, obviously. But you're collecting photos in a beautiful place of the country. I love this art. It reminds me of parks a lot. It's just a beautiful game, and it's a fun, quick little abstract tile. No, it's not the most naturey feeling for theme, but definitely for setting. You really feel it because it's all about the animals of the Yosemite National Park.
That's awesome.
I feel like I did okay on that one, right?
That was good.
That was close
That was
to a
awesome.
good.
You know what? You sold it and you owned it. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
I greatly disliked the game. It should have
Oh,
been.
it hurt my feelings.
I really didn't like this one. But Beth Sobel's art slapped on something, you're like,
See,
it's
that's what I said.
nature. Yeah.
Oh,
So close enough.
thank you, Chris.
All right.
I live for your affirmations, by the way.
There you go. So for my number 7, if you want to go into nature, you would think to go outdoors.
Yeah.
If you want to go to a place, you probably go to a park.
Or Mars.
Or you could stay inside and you could play parks.
Yes!
So Parks is my number 7. Parks is a fun game about going around collecting resources as you're, I guess, are you taking pictures at the
Yeah,
different
I think
places?
that's essentially
what
it
you're
has,
doing,
It
yeah.
has all these amazing artwork from like the national parks and things like
It's
that.
amazing
And basically it's you're set collecting the different resource types and turning those in, like contract fulfillment sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a super cute game where you're trying to go further along the path and try to figure out exactly which things you want to stop on.
And the
But it's a
path
lot of
gets
fun.
bigger as the game goes.
As the game
yeah.
goes along, and you can get more and more resources, and trying to figure out how far you want to go on that to collect the correct things to get your parks out. But yeah, it's a fun game. Parks my number 7.
Good choice.
Super simple.
All right. My number 7 is the newest game on the list. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the newest game on anyone's list
Yeah,
here.
I literally saw you playing it for the first time or second time, whatever it was.
Oh.
You keep peeking at my list.
I know, I'm sorry.
Gosh.
I'm sorry.
If I know what it is, I think I just go ahead. I think I know what it is, and if so, I considered it.
Trailblazers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I played this and I was hooked. I really like Ryan Courtney's pipeline type games.
Oh, nice.
And this is kind of a new one where you look at those cards, you're like, oh, it's pipeline, but in nature, right? How nature could it really feel? I like this a lot because you have trailheads. You have the 3 different color squares there that represent biking, kayaking, or hiking trails, and you're playing this really nicely thinky puzzle game of trying to lay out these cards. You can also overlay cards to create these winding trails. You get rewarded for making them longer and stuff.
Right.
And that's a very that sounds like a slapdash kind of theme on a pipe game. But when you play with some of the little expansion things like the animals,
The animal one.
and then specifically the one where the second one where you're trying to make a really long hiking trail, the animals are extra like photo opportunities for the hiker going along. I'm going to slow down, take pictures of that. That brings out the nature theme just a little bit more, plus this great art.
Well,
That's awesome.
I mean, if you've ever walked in a national park or anywhere like that, you will pass a path that you're about to get on and be like, why can't I just walk there? Because the trail doesn't do that. I mean, literally, I thought that was pretty cool how it did that. Is it got a pastel feel? Or, while you're playing down tiles and that you have to match them up to
I
move?
haven't played Pastel.
Okay, sorry.
No, I don't know.
But no, it's great. I really like this one. So my number 7, Trailblazers.
Cool.
My number 6 is another game where you are playing as kind of the force of nature. In this one, you are playing competitively as trying to shape a world and a land here, and you all have different ideas of what it should look like, right? Eco's First Continent.
I was thinking Terra Mystica, but
Got it.
okay, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, again, you are opposing forces who are shaping and building the land. So you're deciding the different land types to put down. You're deciding which ones are going to have forest on them, animals going out there. You're maneuvering your animals. And I really like the theme in this game where the kind of combo themes that you get, where one card will fulfill another card, fulfill another one, because you get that water element, which then gives you... Anyway, there's a great combo. I guess I could just go on and on, but really what I want to talk about is the theme here where everything kind of makes sense in this. You feel like, oh, my orca is going to eat the hippo over there because that's what they do, or as
I
you
would
move
like
these
to see
storks
that.
and they have to go, you get points because they fly over water because they're storks and that's where they are. So I really like that the theme is so in this and you really feel like you are shaping and building up this continent.
That's cool.
And I like the opposing forces of it as well, where I might be going heavy into the the water animals, not knowing that you're sitting on a shark and you're going to bring your shark over there. You're going to split up my land tile.
That's cool.
I'm building this big lake, and you're like, no, I want 2 lakes. So you're going to, have a drought, cause drought, and change one to sand and split my lake up into 2. I really like it, and so I think that again, you feel like you are playing as nature
cool.
in this game, and it really comes through in the different powers of those cards as they combo together, and as the different elements are pulled as well.
That sounds fun, actually.
So,
really cool.
yeah. Orcas eat hippos? Sure.
I would like to see it, is all I'm
If the
saying.
hippo is near the orca, why not?
Orcas eat
In this game.
Orcas eat moose.
They don't eat little boys. They help them.
There you go.
Or the little boy helps them.
They just, yeah.
Yep,
I
that's
hate
right.
this game
Yeah.
tremendously, but very fitting.
Yeah, you don't. That's right.
fast.
Yes, but yeah. So my number 6 is Eco's First Continent.
My number 6 is a crossover with Roy. This is Parks. Roy has
Oh,
said,
snap.
yeah, I've adored this game since day one. It's very high on my top 100 list. It's just an amazing. I say that, but I can't remember because I may have left it off by accident for forgetting. But Parks is an amazing game. It's a worker. It's not worker placement, it's worker movement, right? Down the trail. But it's got
a
the
ratchet
feeling.
sort of thing,
Hiker
right?
movement.
Yeah, hiker movement. I love the fact
Not
that
a
you
thing.
have the 2 hikers and you kind of have the option of like, well, I can wait to take that action because maybe somebody will move off the space I need, so I'll use my other worker. But then again, what if they rush to the end and then everybody's got to go to the end? I love just the thinking of it. And the art, I can't say enough good things about it. Every time I play this, and it's been in the 20s probably times I've played this, I pick up the art and look through the cards every time. It's just gorgeous. It really, really, really is. I'd love to see more from that. I know they did the expansion, but I never played it. But I want to see just more from this, So love Parks, and yes, this is the board game breakfast mug that you can get at the DicetowerStore.com. DicetowerStore.com, sorry.
You don't even know the website.
Plug.
They call me Mr. Shill.
Well, if you're shilling for us, that's cool.
That's true.
I call you way worse things when you're not here.
When they announced, Bryan, that we were coming, you were like, oh God, I don't have the energy for this.
Bryan, oh my goodness. So my number 6, when you think nature, you think like cutthroat animals at each other and all this stuff.
Yes,
and
murder,
when you
that's what I
think
think.
of that sort of nature, you think trees.
Yep, absolutely.
No, photosynthesis is my number 6.
I like how this is like your best pick so far
This
for
is
nature.
a fighting game, though. Like,
Trying
absolutely.
to invalidate your pick.
It's so cutthroat as you're putting out the trees, blocking the other trees for light.
That's
it's
what they are.
I know,
Yeah.
but like it's very interesting as you're trying to like build your trees up to get in the right area to get the most sunlight, and the sun's going around the board. I play this with the moon expansion, which makes it even more cutthroat in some ways. But yeah,
Gotta stay away from that,
it's definitely, it gives you that feel of like, hey, we're trees planting out our seeds, and like this area control of like light control almost, which is pretty cool. I like games with light in it, so it's pretty fun.
Hey, I like that.
See, we can all be shills.
I've never seen a game that has more cursing involved than this game. Like it is.
It's so cutthroat.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, it's like, man, trees blocking the other trees. You wouldn't think it would be like a serene, nice game, but it's very.
I want to burn down a forest when somebody takes one.
Yeah, this is one of the few nature games that I have zero interest in playing. Like the more I hear about that, the more I read the gameplay, I'm like,
Hang on.
but I do love.
Cutthroat, check. Nature, check.
Yeah.
Camilla, I'm not.
No,
this is like
because-
a.
She doesn't want to be cut.
Because those are like real life, I use
yeah.
board games for like fantasy and to escape real life.
There you go.
That's funny.
But yeah, photosynthesis, my number 6 nature game.
Good choice.
Oof. All right. My number 6 is. I gotta follow that up. That's a really good
Okay,
pick,
I thought
right?
the roof was a terrible pick. Like
No,
you told
no,
us the last
that's
two
really
of
good.
ours you hated.
I actually also hate photosynthesis.
I mean, I hate all your games, guys. That's just kind of the theme of this.
Not only do you hate nature, you hate nature games.
I'm allergic to trees.
You're allergic to everything.
allergic
To be
to
fair,
animals.
to be fair to nature,
Yeah.
you are allergic to
They
90%
started
of
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. It's on them.
They started it. That was a good one.
My number
Well
6
done.
is
Every
about.
once in a while.
Okay.
And I mentioned this, and this is kind of in theme with my last pick. This is about people, but people enjoying and appreciating nature. So my number 6 is called Summer Camp.
Oh, this is a
Yeah.
good game. Yeah.
I love the Phil Walker Harding, very lightweight, approachable deck building game. One of
Yeah.
the best introductory deck building games out there. And yeah, it's at a camp. It's clearly built up by people for kids to go to, spend some time over the summer. But there's nothing that, for me, I need a little bit of manufactured nature. I am not, what's his name, Bear Grylls,
Yeah.
like drop me in the middle of the woods and I'll survive. No!
You're the glamper.
Yeah.
Do you know that term?
I do.
Okay,
I was like, you look confused. I was like,
I
oh,
don't
sorry.
know. Is that an insult?
I was like, I was not
I thought you were about to say I wouldn't go that far.
But like, I am the kind of person that I prefer to go to a cabin and then go on hikes and do stuff that makes me appreciate nature.
Watch
sitting
the
outside
Nature
as a-
Channel. Yeah.
For example,
Yeah.
yeah.
Stay indoors and play board games.
Stay indoors and look out
A
my air
cardboard.
conditioned house and look out the window, right?
Yes.
But like, I love the idea of spending time in nature and then kind of coming back to a home base.
Got it.
Right? And so
The
summer
idea
camp
is the word, yeah.
Summer camp is about going out, kayaking, exploring, going on
great.
hikes, getting hopped up on candy bars and stuff, and like running through the woods for a while.
S'mores and everything is in it.
It's
yeah.
very
it.
fun, right? Yeah, it literally
yeah,
has s'mores. That's my favorite part of nature is cooking s'mores.
Yeah, absolutely. Campfire cooking and s'mores is the best.
No,
There's no
but-
Ernest in this, though, so I was a little upset there's no Ernest P. Worrell.
He didn't go.
He didn't go.
Oh man. But like, so that's the thing is thematically this one is about, yeah, it's the camp, but then really the camp is about appreciating nature, getting away from I would rather sit at home and play board games and being out there, out in the fresh air and everything. So I really like the theming on this one. It's very pretty, very nice game. So Summer Camp, my number 6.
Good choice.
Ooh.
My number 5 is parks. So just to back up what you guys said,
Excellent game.
I like this one because it puts you in nature. You talked about summer camp because that makes you feel naturey. Going on hikes is the way I appreciate nature.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good.
and so this gives me the feeling of what you were talking about summer camp. You know, when I think summer camp, I don't think nature because that wasn't my association with it. You know, hiking is how I put myself in nature and love it and appreciate it. I think a hike is truly an ode to nature, you know, as you're going out. And I love, as I'm going through this one and seeing all the different national parks and having like my own associations with it and, you know, the ones I've been to, the ones I want to go to, the ones I admire, seeing ones I didn't realize that was a park, you know, that kind of stuff, and just really getting kind of engrossed in this. I like this one too because I think of the art style, because it is a little bit more. It's not abstracted, but it's a little.
It's like pastels almost.
It is. It's one of the few ones that I really feel like you're in nature that didn't go with a kind of realistic feel. It almost, this one feels like a memory.
It feels like travel posters.
Yeah, exactly.
graphic
Yeah,
design.
where it's kind of the fractured looks with the really bold opposing colors, that kind of stuff. It really gives me that nostalgia and appreciation of nature.
Yeah.
You
I like
know.
what you said. It looks like a memory feels.
Yes,
that's
exactly. Yeah.
That's a heck of a phrase right there.
Yeah, you didn't like it when I said it. What was that?
Why I missed it. I was too busy trying to come up with
Not
a joke.
listening?
You know what I mean?
Oh, you do have that
Should write
problem.
this down. That's what Joey does.
To be fair.
Let me know when you make a joke.
Yeah, we need incoming bad joke.
My number 5 is.
I wasn't done. That's cool. Go ahead.
Is not coming yet. I was saying my number 5 is coming after Camilla's number 5. This silly back on this game.
My number 5 is parks. Bryan, tell me about yours.
My number 5 is a game that I know is going to be on other lists here. It is Meadow. When this game appeared at my house, I was like, that's a cute looking little ferret? Otter? I don't know, but it's adorable.
Weasel.
Goat? What is it?
Did you say otter?
Nah, it's not an otter. I see now it's definitely not an otter. It's definitely a...
The otter's on the
Better look
expansion.
again.
Yeah, the otter's on the expansion.
stoat.
Stoat. Yeah, you know, you better get your stoats right. Look,
Better figure your nature out.
this game is beautiful. The art is cool, but you start from...
We lost Chris.
It's Ricky Tikki Taffy, right? Like that's obviously what that animal is. But you start from the ground up, and the cool mechanic of having your little pointers out and picking, okay, I'm gonna put my 4 here, I want to take the 4th card, I want the 3rd card from this direction. And every round you go, dadgummit, I can't get that card no matter which angle I point at it from is maddening sometimes, but I love it. The scoring and all that stuff's great. It's just a pretty game that has some great mechanics in it. It's just a blast. So that's my number 5 is Meadow. You're not saying much. I wonder why.
I think it's.
I think this game
I
saved
know,
a lot of what you just said about it.
My number 5.
I just meant we'd hear your thoughts later.
My number 5 is a game that probably a lot of people are going to have on their nature style list. A lot of people are going to flock to it, and that is Wingspan.
Love
Good, Joey. That was for you. But yeah, Wingspan is great. I mean, you're collecting all the different birds, trying to get the right food types to be able to get those birds onto the board, building up your little stuff, lots of eggs and stuff like that. Cadbury,
I wish
all
that was
things.
the
Cadbury.
board. No, I wish that was the
Chocolate.
back of the box. Yeah, you get in some eggs, get some food, build up all your stuff.
Listen, I've played Wingspan a few times. I think every time I played it with Mike. It's it's a fun game where you're collecting a bunch of different birds. This is, I mean, nature games in general aren't normally my style.
Right.
But I mean, this one's fun, and I love the
I hate
combos you can
birds,
build up in
and I'm
this
not
game.
kidding about that. I actually legitimately hate birds. I'm terrified of them, but
It's because you're in their airspace when you walk around.
I feel like I'm an invader all the time. It's like I'm the characters in Spirit Island, basically, all the time with birds.
When you go outside, you have to put a little like flashing red light at the top of your
I
mohawk.
put
So
the tape
planes
on
don't hit 'em and
the
birds.
tape. Yeah.
But yeah, Wingspan, my number 5. It might be on other people's list. It was a crossover with Bryan, so there you go. That doesn't help my
I was about to say, did you
but-
feel good about that?
I get.
It was
Bryan
right
on your
after
side
So
is not-
It was on people's list before earlier in the week, so that helps validate a little bit.
I think it's a nature game. I personally don't. I think I missed the boat on this game, you know, but I
Yeah.
know it's very well beloved, and I catch a lot of heat for my on this game.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's an okay game. Yeah.
I get it, yeah.
But that's just me.
Not making my list, I'll tell you that.
Min-max birds.
All right, my number 5 is
That's true.
my number 5 is a very, very serene game. I really like it. It's very beautiful. It's called Floriferous. This is
I'm so happy it's on your list.
oh good.
This
Okay.
killed me. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
it was on,
because-
and then off, and then on, and then off. Spoilers, it's not on. Off. Oh, I'm so glad. Please talk about it.
I should almost let you talk.
No,
about
no,
it.
I'm sorry.
No, not
Chris,
as a slight. I mean, like, but like, I really like this game. I love
So good.
I love the mechanism it borrows from King Domino or develops, however you want. I'm not trying to say that's not a slight. I love the turn order and choosing card mechanism that was in King Domino. This does it where you see the whole row across. You want to grab the top one, that lets you go first next round, right, for the next column. That's
That's cool.
huge.
That's cool.
The bottom cards are incentivized with those little stones, and so you're like, well, maybe I really want that, but I know I'm going last. I love that, but the idea of just kind of collecting this, you know, the different types of flowers and the scoring conditions, like the being, if I remember, a lot of the bottom cards are like a lot of like the pollinators and stuff that work with the flowers.
Right, exactly, and that's how you end up setting your scoring mechanism.
end game.
Yeah, or not mechanism. Yeah, your scoring conditions for the end game. Yeah.
I think I would really
that's
like
a
this one.
Fantastic choice. Fantastic choice. It was. I ended up replacing it. It was this or something else, and I replaced it with something else on the list. But it like.
Is it Arboretum?
I lost sleep over taking this off, so I'm so happy that it made your list. Very good choice. Fantastic.
Good job.
All right,
Well
excellent.
done.
Yeah, call me NyQuil because I help you sleep.
Oh, that was good. That was good. And you also wake
that's
up groggy in the morning. Is that,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
My number 4 is one of the newer games on the list for me, and by newer, like I've discovered it more recently, and that's Planted. This is a game where it is you are bringing nature into your house. Right, and you're playing and you're kind of setting it up, trying to decide what potted plants are on your shelf or on your the ground. Of course, there's scoring conditions with it, but I think that the production of this game as well really helps sell it.
That's really pretty,
You know,
yeah.
and this is not upgraded
That's the
at
base
all.
game?
This is base
Wow.
game. It's got cardboard and it's got the plastic for the sun, which really have this nice like brightness to
That's
them
cool.
because it's like a really clear yellow, and so they don't glow obviously, but they definitely have that, they kind of catch the light.
Right.
And I really think it immerses you in the nature, but also it's all about like bringing nature into your house and celebrating it in your house, and how are you going to arrange it and putting it on your shelves. And I was just absolutely charmed by this game. It's just one of those, you talked about Floriferous just kind of being very charming and serene. This is actually the one that, it did not replace Floriferous for me, but on this list it was like, okay, there's so many games I want to talk about. These two kind of give me the same feeling, you know, and so which one is it? And so I'm not saying this has replaced Floriferous, it's just on this list specifically. They evoke the same emotions and appreciation for nature, and it's that bringing emotion to you, bringing the nature into you, and really appreciating just the arrangement of it, you know, and having it, again, in your life, you know. So for me, number 4 is Planted, a fantastic game about, again, just appreciating nature and kind of building it up.
It's good.
It was on when Mike, Tom, and Z did this list, I think it was like 8 months ago or so. They did nature-themed games, and it's funny because a lot of people were like, that's not really about nature, because it's like houseplants, indoor stuff. And literally the cover says, Planted, a game of nurture and nature.
That's funny. And where does it say that it's a game about? Oh, it's on the box. Damn it.
All right, yeah, no, it's about the appreciation of nature, you know, and like, yeah, you want to be inside, but you appreciate it and want to have that little piece of it, you know,
Well-
and so it's about harnessing what you can about it and just really again, appreciating. I'm saying the same thing over and over again.
I like that
but
you
yeah.
set mine up like that because these next two choices for me are going to give me a little bit of heat for them. But they're silly, but they're not silly in the sense. But why they're silly
Don't
is because
use my argument for
no,
yourself.
why they're silly is they're not super deep games. They're very
doesn't
light
matter.
games. But and this is where the argument comes in: is nature appreciating nature that we also eat? If I watch Living with the Land in Epcot, it's a big part of that. It's talking about what we eat. So that is why my number 4 is Harvest Dice. It is a very simple farming dice. What do you call those? Roll and write game. And when I say simple, I mean it's very simple. You got these tracts of land. You're farming. You're putting your vegetables out there. You're scoring. You got a little pig out there. See, he's cute. Who's gonna maybe you're raising that. Is it the most naturey thing? Of course not. Do you open it up and you just smell roses and see butterflies dance in the sun? No, of course not. But you do just have this fun experience, and it's quick, and it's a great roll and write that you can teach that is about appreciating nature. Because if you can call a house plant nature, I can call a tomato garden nature. And I do love growing fresh tomatoes and jalapenos. My number 4.
I thought that was a plug for something.
Get your fresh Dice Tower tomatoes at dicetowerstore.com.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Always save him.
for
The
me,
next
my
one's
last
yours.
game was an Elizabeth Hargrave game. This game is also an Elizabeth Hargrave game. She really knows nature. This is Mariposas.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of butterflies
Butterflies,
fluttering,
yeah.
this is a game about the life of butterflies, and butterflies are very naturey, I think.
They're beautiful.
But you get to see like the countryside and going across the different parts of the life of a butterfly. This was
18XX,
a
the butterfly
surprisingly good game when we played it. I had a blast with this one. It's just cool seeing how they migrate and you're moving them along and trying to get them through the different life cycles and things like that. I really enjoyed Mariposas, so that's why it's my number 4.
Nice.
I think it's really cool that you rate like that. This one's higher for you. 1 on a nature list, and
Right.
2 as Elizabeth Hargrave list, where I think Wingspan is what she's known for,
Yeah.
and kind of overshadows this one a lot. So I think it's
I
really
actually
cool
enjoy
that you.
this game more than Wingspan.
I
I
think
know
that's
it's a
really
simpler
neat.
game overall. It doesn't have all the combos, but I just enjoy like how you move this stuff around. And I think it's a game that of hers that I don't see as definitely not as many people talk about as Wingspan.
no,
But it
not
still
at all.
has that like I liked how it was like grounded in like butterfly science. You know,
Absolutely.
I think
And so
it's
it's like
fantastic. That's good.
you learn
Wow.
more about monarch butterflies playing this game than like a lot of
I
things.
get,
so it's
I
really
get
cool.
liking the later stuff better. It's like All That You Can't Leave Behind is a better album than the Joshua Tree, but a lot of people still love the Joshua Tree first and foremost. So naturally,
no
this
clue
is
you're
your
talking
All
about,
That You
Brian.
Can.
I
All That You
don't
Can't
like
Leave Behind.
70% of the time. I'm clueless.
In the comments,
It's a,
you'll know.
it's a WrestleMania reference.
It's a
Right.
YouTube
All right.
reference. Oh, Mike Heat. Got the Mike Heat. All right, my number. Nope, I lost one. I forgot what we were doing. It's like, what?
My number 4. Oh, I'm struggling. My number 4 is another one of these very, very serene games. This one is strangely high on my list, despite how themeless it kind of is.
Huh.
The game is called Ohanami. It's a card game. You're
Oh,
just
wow.
I've
drafting
seen this.
cards.
I haven't played it.
Seen
I've
it,
seen
yeah.
it.
Right.
Same thing.
You're just drafting 2 cards at a time, and the cards are just numbers, right? And so you're
Okay,
trying to
yeah.
create. You're trying to. You cannot tuck new cards in between other cards. They have to go on either extreme end of your column there.
Like the game almost, but a little bit.
It's
Yeah.
very much like the game or the mind, kind of like
Yeah.
a card drafting game. This is one of those cases where the art and this setting really puts me in a good place. It disarms me from thinking like numbers, efficiency, number puzzle thing.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate because the 4 different color of cards score a little bit differently at the end of each round, but they just represent, to me, the idea of like walking through the countryside and being like, like appreciating the little things that are there. That little plot of grass is very
It's a
nice.
22.
Look at these rocks. Look at
That's a 22 if I've ever seen one.
that's the thing. It could be a perfectly abstract game.
Yeah.
I got a blue card. That's a 22, right? No, that's a little bend in the creek that you're kind of appreciating. And something about that just, and the cherry blossoms, of course, very beautiful, very striking in the artwork and stuff, and those set collect for the end game scoring. I really like this one. It puts me in a very nice place. The word we often use, and I don't know if it's the most appropriate word or like what if it's the most
Don't say inappropriate
descriptive
words on
word. The descriptive is what I mean more so. We always describe games like a very zen game.
Yeah.
And because of just how natural this is, it's not about set collecting different colors of ribbons or cats or whatever, right? It's just appreciate the nature that's there.
Yeah.
It
Look at
puts
that
me in a-
22. That's a nice 22. Come on,
There
run
you
it
go.
back
There you
around.
go.
Sorry.
I was going
You
to use
just-
the Boulder joke for this one.
sorry.
So it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry that
Look at that rock! rock, right?
I took your.
That's
your joke.
114 rock. That's. I had it all scripted. You can see it right.
I saw it's on your script.
It's written in Joey's handwriting.
Man, that's cold.
That's not bad.
Anyway, my number 4, Ohana Me.
I don't know. Number 3. Sorry, I had to double check. My number 3 is the science of nature.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about the study of nature, and it is about figuring out how nature works and how to, 1, figure out how it works, and then 2, how to kind of encompass, and I don't want to say better that, because I don't know that we've bettered nature necessarily, but at least understanding it and using it. What do you think it is, Chris?
Are you going to nuke
Genotype.
Mars?
Genotype.
Genotype.
Yeah.
How'd you know
Okay.
that? You knew that?
I just guessed because what you were saying.
Well,
I
you're so
listened
good.
to what you said.
Oh my gosh,
Whoa,
I
holy smokes.
appreciate you listening.
What was your
Thanks,
number 3?
Roy. Genotype.
Oh, okay, cool.
Genotype.
It's
So
not
in this one,
terraforming
this is Joey.
If
I was not going to say
genotype
my
counts,
father's
the terraforming
word.
Mars counts, right? No, I'm kidding.
Don't you have a job to do somewhere else? Go magic something. All right.
The worst part is I didn't know she was talking to you or me because she wasn't looking at us.
I said Joey.
Oh, I didn't
You
listen.
have to listen.
I
It's hard.
wasn't listening,
I know. It's a tough skill. So yeah, genotype. I really like
I was gonna say
in
my
this one
father's
that
word.
you're studying the pea plants and genetics, right? And figuring out why do plants grow certain ways they do, and and trying to put that together and manipulate the genetics in order to create something that in this game, taking the theme out, that is going to optimize your scoring, of course. You know, but I really like this meld here of the science behind the nature, back from the, cannot think of the name.
It's Gregor Mendel.
The Mendelian, yeah. So I really like this game, and it really makes me, again, feel nature, but appreciate nature because of the science behind it, and again, why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
You know, and really understanding it.
So what I'm hearing is you're big GMO.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
I mean,
You had those apples that
bigger
taste like cotton
fruits.
candies.
That's
It's
right.
amazing. It's crazy. Or grapples, what are they called? My number 3 is a game in which that again I'm going to catch more heat for this. But to be real clear, if you count genotype, which obviously counts, I had thought about putting encyclopedia on this list because it's the animal version of genotype essentially. But I didn't know if people would be like, so you can't do that. So I just went with this game instead, which is going to get me far more heat. You know encyclopedia.
It's heat.
I do know
Heat does
that,
not
but
fit on this
I don't
list.
know how you think. Okay, carry
You're
on.
appreciating animals. You're going to studying animals and writing about them. It's the same thing as
On
studying.
edge, Bryan!
My terrible pick is the extension from my number 4 pick. Once you harvest those dice, you
salad.
eat the point salad, okay? It's a game all about fruits and vegetables. And again, I feel, hold on, let me see if I can remember exactly what was just said.
No, I'm done
There
listening.
could be just abstract numbers, but instead they're vegetables. So I look at them and I get into a very peaceful moment of thinking, that's a beautiful radish.
So can I pick Sushi Go because they were once fish?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes they still are. Point salad is a silly abstract game, but I will say the reason this is on my list is that yes, it's not the most nature, but it is nature, and you're playing salads. This game has brought.
Let me get this right. Point salad is a silly abstract game, and that's why it's number 3 on my nature list. Am I hearing correctly? Because I'm listening.
This goes from my enjoyment level. So this game has
He
brought
likes
me
point salad,
more.
therefore it makes the list. I don't know.
It brought me more enjoyment with my group of friends than almost any other game. It's a fun game that does feature fruits and vegetables that grow in, wait for it, nature.
Greenhouses.
Well, yeah, I don't know about you, but my backyard don't have a greenhouse. It's got a patch.
I'm not
You
gonna
ain't got
pick
no
on-
patch. What are you talking
Got a
about?
soul patch. Look at this.
I'm not going to pick
Oh
on
my
you, Bryan,
gosh.
but I am going to quote Ginger Scholar from the chat that says Bryan did his top 5 nature games.
I got. Well, in the chat, let me know. Does encyclopedia count or not?
No.
Nothing
Why
on your
would
list counts,
encyclopedia
Bryan.
not count?
Nothing on your list.
Oh, this is.
Yeah, I think at this point you don't count.
I'm just so tired. Hey, check out the Dice Star store.
Okay, my number 3. Most all of my other picks have been on land. This time I'm going to the sea.
What?
This is a very abstract game.
Heroes of
overall.
Land and Sea.
No,
Oh.
this is Reef.
This was going to
Okay.
make my list, but
So
that's
it's a very abstract game. I
was
really
gonna put this
enjoy
rock, pick
Reef. I
harvest
mean,
dice instead.
coral building up is a theme in this game. Basically,
Absolutely.
you're trying to, you're drafting these cards and you're either getting more coral to put on your board or using that card to score coral that you already have on your board. You're just
Score
basically
coral,
trying
so to
to set all that stuff up. This is a super like streamlined, efficient game like most of Emerson's are.
I agree.
This is just a ton of fun. And I feel like this one doesn't get as much recognition as it deserves. It is a blast to play.
I totally agree.
And really, more people should check it out. And if you want to do that underwater nature theme, this is Reef.
Well, I agree with you because it's the scoring mechanic and choosing your action is way more important in your brain than people think. Like every choice is like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
And it's just the order of things. It's like, do I want to do this first?
That's right.
They might take that card that I really need for scoring, but it might sit out there, and then they take the card and use it to build the coral. And you're like,
son of a gun!
you know. So it's very interesting and lots of meaningful decisions in Reef.
Yeah,
It's a really good.
it's a good pick.
It's a great pick.
yeah.
It's a good game.
It's not as good a pick as my pick, but it's a good pick.
I like it.
Yours was like something you could pick up at Wendy's, you know.
Not anymore. They're taking the signs off the menu I saw. It's a shame.
Because they weren't nature enough.
That's right. The Wendy's did not make a top 10 nature list. Which Food Chain Magnate's my number 2. Spoilers.
Okay, go ahead, Chris. I killed you again.
I am dying. I love
What the heck? I'm sorry. You'll see.
Stop looking at my
Why are you
list,
looking
Bryan?
at my list? I got real mad there
Do
for a
you
minute. I'm sorry.
understand how the top 10 works?
I don't know what he has written down. I can't read his handwriting. and
I
don't
hope
know.
we get to vote who we bring in on the next spectacular.
Yeah, Tom.
Because I know someone who's not making it.
HR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom's gonna have a line out of his door after this list.
My
We all
number
got
3.
words.
It doesn't quite get much naturey than this, but I argue that there are 2 more that make me appreciate it than the whole wide Earth. My number 3 is Earth.
Oh, man. I'm excited
great.
to play this in a
This
few
is the
minutes.
one you were mad about?
No. I accidentally read ahead. This is the one. I'm very excited about playing this in a few minutes, by the way.
Accidentally.
You said that 4
accidentally.
times in the last 5 minutes, so I think you might be excited.
What I'm saying
How
is
much do you
I'm
cheat in
excited.
So this is a
Bryan.
crossover with Brian's number 10.
That's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail your list. It's just,
No, that's
he
great.
can't help himself.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. This is one that I enjoyed when I first played it, and then the more that I play, the more that I teach it. This one's really shooting up for me because it's very teachable. It's very nice, and I just love this setting. I love that you were building up your own, kind of your own island and everything, but you're just booping this to bop that, and that's
Booping and bopping, baby.
that's an engine building type of thing that I really enjoy. The fact that you get so much, to do on
Combos,
other people's turns as well. But the whole setting of it being, you have greenery, you have trees that you're building up, you have different special conditions and such that kind of shows the cyclical nature of.
Yeah, we're trying not to reach out. I know.
And I love
Trying
it.
not to reach out right now. They're on fire.
I still really want to play this game. I was actually sad I wasn't in the playthrough because I keep telling Chris over and over every day we come into work. I'm like, I want to play Earth. I want to play Earth.
Yeah.
I told everybody at West that I want to play Earth. I
I'm
still
about to
haven't
play in
played
a few
it.
minutes, and I'm pumped.
Yeah,
Are you?
Something-
I didn't
If
think
you
about
weren't part of the
that.
spectacular,
Are
I'd be
you
playing
really?
instead of you, Brian. So it's your fault. that I'm
Well,
not playing.
it counted as time off, Roy.
Let's keep it going.
Anyway,
Earth.
Earth.
All right, that's a good choice.
My number 2 has already been prophesied in the chat here since I think the very beginning. My number 2 is Earth, and
I figured
I
that. I'm excited.
love. This is one of those
No
games.
more coffee, bro.
Yeah, you're cut off. Sorry. This is one of the few games, and by few, I mean I can't think of any other game, but there might be one that I'm not thinking of at the moment, where I really like that they went with photographs. I don't usually like pictures, but I think in this game really sells it. I think that sometimes it actually feeling like, Joey, you said that was the last Earth I've been there joke, and you lied to me, and Mike, take his phone away. He is cut off.
He's just gonna pull out another phone. Like, it's just
All
like,
right?
It's your phone.
No?
Yeah.
Done? I feel like sometimes the gameplay of this is a little bit abstracted.
Yeah.
Like, you really are just, as you're building out your tableau, maximizing your points, right? And the placement of them.
Earth is built on a 16 card grid,
But
though.
my number 2 is Earth. No.
I finally broke it. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But I think what saves it is that it does have these pictures in it, which rarely do I pick up pick up one of the cards and not go, ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fungus. Oh, it's, you know what I mean? Like each card kind of draws you in.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
agree.
it's Earth's
Yeah.
pimple. You know.
Wait, what?
It was from
You made crowd
yesterday. Don't worry
surfing
about it.
yesterday. Nothing. It's a.
I was
Yeah, so I really like that they went with the pictures, and I think that really sells the theme and kind of immerses you because again, the gameplay is a little bit abstracted from it.
Yeah.
And like you were talking, Chris, there's so much to do on everyone's turn. I kind of equate this to like it's a constant endorphin drip. You know, and at the end of the game, you're doing up your points. You're like, oh man, I didn't do very good. But I just had an hour of like a solid stream of endorphins, so I'm good. You know what I mean? Like you come out, you're like, wow, I lost by 50 points. I still got 217 points though, so I'm pretty good.
But look at all this fungus growing on me. Like,
absolutely, check out my fungi.
That's what I said last week.
The Last of Us. What's going on?
So anyway, so I think Earth is just fantastic. It really sells nature. You know, maybe not in the gameplay, but just the game itself.
Check out selloutnature.com.
Well, I was going to say, you sell nature and harvest dice too. I don't understand the problem. No.
I'm laughing at Mike's thing. He's typing in chat and he hasn't even sent it yet.
Yes, as we're progressing down this movement of food, no, this game actually would have fit on any of y'all's list as well because it is probably my number one is very naturey, but this is my most naturey game besides Parks on here, and this is Bosk. I like photosynthesis a lot, but I love Bosk. Bosk is one of my it's such a good game. You have multiple phases there where you're placing out trees in this phase, and then you place out the leaves, and the trees score differently than the leaves. So it's almost like you're playing two separate games because you never come back to the first phase. It's not like, okay, round one we do trees, round two we do this, then round one we go back to trees. You progress through the seasons of the year, and depending on how you drop your leaves out, you'll score differently. It's just a wonderful game. It's peaceful. No, it's not. It's violent, much like photosynthesis.
Like
it's
trees.
Not as bad. Yeah, it's not as. It's like The Happening. You know what I'm saying? Every time I play it, I want to get. No, anyway. But it's a great game. It's fun. It's pretty. Bosk, number 2. I did it, right?
That was good. You picked a nature game.
I had a hard time
I feel
trying to find
so
one.
proud in this moment.
And you also didn't completely blow the delivery at the end and make Camilla shoot daggers at you.
That's right.
Wait for number 1. It's going to be awesome. It's just 1. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
My number 2 is a gigantic long game. It is an epic nature game about different animal species and their ecosystems, and this is Dominant Species.
Wow.
Okay.
Dominant Species is a big
GMT game, right?
Yeah, it's huge, and it's not even necessarily aesthetically pleasing at all. It's got cones, it's got all these little cubes and stuff, but it looks nothing with it.
Not what I expected.
It looks like cones of Dunshire.
It does. It's like, I've seen this game.
Honestly, this game is, and it's got a little bit of like, take that and crush other people in a little bit, but it is a game where you are building up your different species, whether it be like spiders or like snakes or fish.
Oh
or
gosh, if spiders were the dominant species, that's horrifying.
There's different terrain types, and you're trying to have dominance in those different terrain types and take those areas over.
That's cool.
It is a solid game that's highly well regarded, but it's a nature game that I figured probably wouldn't be on other people's lists, and I wouldn't even necessarily say it's one that I super enjoy, but I felt like it's
based or not? Like,
it's basically like action selection, kind of like worker placement. It's not worker placement. It's like action placement. It's got like a bar there, and only certain people can go in the different spaces.
I got you.
But it's very robust, like very long game.
I've heard it's good.
But it goes through like the whole like ecosystem and cycle of like a species of animals.
That's cool.
So it gives you that feel.
Dominant point salads, baby.
Dominant cones of Dunshire.
Cones of Dunshire. That's what I picked
I hate
up
the way it
from
looks, but it's fine.
This is one of those like games that gets upgraded all the time.
And I can see it upgrading, like what you were describing.
I can 3D print some.
Definitely.
I think the
fits it,
copy that we have in the
so-
library, I think Tom has like little animal
meeples.
And I think the newer editions of it, or like I know the water edition of this game has like
Marine,
like,
that's what we're saying.
Yeah, Marina actually has like not just cubes, you know.
Oh,
looks
cool.
nicer.
I'm curious.
It's like little fish and stuff. So
All right. So my number 2
I'm furious.
is so I said, how can you get more nature themed than Earth when that's literally what Earth is about? But for me,
What is this game?
This is one that makes me appreciate it more, and that's point salad.
Because at least my belly is full.
No, it's encyclopedia.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
This is kind of like with genotype. This is the study of nature.
He's not a pirate. He's fancy.
No, so this is about in the the age of sail, the age of exploration, kind of just going out and discovering a lot of species for the first time, writing treatises, writing the encyclopedia of nature, of natural life. And so, a decent amount of the game is spent, at a desk, figuratively, but also a good chunk of the game where you really collect the cards and everything that you need to actually explore. You go on voyages to different continents of the world. You collect, you do sketches of these different animals and stuff, and then you go and you publish your research on them.
And you can't see it on there, but the cards look amazing, and they're all in Latin with the actual, the names of the genotype, phenotype, whatever. What am I trying to say? Yeah, genus and species. But sorry, go ahead. I just want to point out because you can't really see it, and people need to go look it up. It's amazing looking.
Yeah, it does look great, and I love having those sets in front of you. And one of the biggest actions in the game, both like of importance and also length of time, is the publication, is disseminating the information that you've researched out to the world so people can appreciate the nature that they haven't gone out and seen. So thematically a little bit weird, but I really love just staring at those cards, looking at it, and the setting that it puts, or the place that it puts you into to appreciate nature in just a slightly different way.
Well, this game is in my top 100 now. It's so good. Like, the only thing I can knock it for is not an issue with it. It's a little brain burny to figure out that score. Not to figure it out, but you have to go, oh crud, is it worth me getting that to match this symbol, or is it better to get these so I can score that? Like, it's because if you know how to play, you'll see that you lose some of the cards if you don't publish them. Like, they're just gone. And
Absolutely, yeah.
And so it's really thinking. I love this game. It's so good. It's a good choice, Chris, and I'm glad someone picked it.
I'm glad I went with its over point sound. I was like, oh gosh.
Right, yeah. I'll give you that.
There are really
that
similar
one.
games though, like in style and theme and mechanics size.
Encyclopedia, my number 2.
Number 1. So I was holding it. Did we not hold up ones? That one I've watched a couple of these
Oh, I thought you
videos.
had a question.
yeah.
Like,
Definitely don't hold up number 1. That's
what is nature?
I was
What is
told.
nature? Baby, don't hurt me. I predict we have a crossover.
I predict as well.
I do too.
I predict that this is.
It could be a 4-way tie.
It quite possibly could. I don't know if he's played this game.
You blew it.
Yeah.
What? Did you? What's yours?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my number 1 game, and I just shout out to Joe here in the chat, who has, I think, pretty accurately guessed almost all of my games at some point in the chat here. So shout out to him. He knows, I guess. My number 1 is Meadow, and so this is a game about actually studying animals. And I don't mean that as a slight on you, but I mean that's truly like or studying nature. So in this, you are in a. Oh, I love that picture. I forgot about it. Thanks, Mike, for putting that up there. All right.
Adorable.
So in this game, you are in a meadow and out in a field, and you are just appreciating all the little nuances of the nature. You first might notice the landscape that you're in, and oh wow, it's kind of a grassland. And then you look a little closer, and you notice, oh, there's a bug on here. Oh, and because there's a bug, you see a bird, and because the bird eats the bug, which lives on the grass, and so you really get to see the chain of nature. A what?
That sounds like a children's song.
The wiggle and jiggle.
The bird eats a bug, and the bees eat the birds, and
the birds eat the bees. What did you say?
They do sometimes, I think. Right?
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm gonna have to have the birds and the bee conversation.
That's
what I
a
was
different
told.
conversation than I was given. But all right. So I really like that it's a game about being in nature. It's a game about studying nature, appreciating nature, and it truly comes with an encyclopedia of the cards in the game. Where it has a whole. It has a whole, I'm just moving on. It has a whole book that comes with it where it tells you about each individual card, and you can learn something about it yourself if you want to. And if you don't, that's fine. You can just sit there and you can just appreciate what it is. And just like I said with Earth, every card you pick up, you're like, this is really cool. It's all unique art. It's all very well represented. I love that the theme is so well represented here as well, as you can again see how things build on each other and why things do the things they do. It's because of the way it is.
You'd be that way
it just
sometimes.
makes sense.
I will say, games
That's what they do. Thank you, Mike.
Games that have a booklet in the back that show, the card is this and it gives you information. I'm a sucker for that in any game that does this. Why I like Twilight Struggles, because you found out about this historical event, you can look it up. So having it with the animals is great. I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I think, when you think nature, this game is it. Whether you like it or you don't, this is the epitome of nature games for me. I happen to love it. It is in my top 10. I absolutely adore the game. But even if you don't, this is nature in a box.
Oh yeah, and the envelopes. The envelopes are cool too. How you can unlock it. Hey, if you go to a national park, unlock these envelopes and all that.
So fun.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
so fun. Yeah, I didn't do that.
I definitely
just put them
cheated.
All in. I definitely have
I've
the
been to one
fairies.
before.
Yeah. I just put them all in. But I love it, and I think it is nature.
That's awesome.
All right, my number 1. I really thought this would be on the list already from somebody, but we just discovered this early last year, and it's It's a game in which you are making a zoo, so it's obvious what this is. This is Ark Nova. It is one of the best games I have ever played. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I was going to say earlier, but I didn't want to tip my hand, that the photographs thing, I really like. I like the photographs in this one too, where I don't like them in Terraform Mars. Some of them are fake, some of them are not. But this game, the action selection to me is one of the best in gaming, where you pick your card and you shift it down. It gets better as you wait for it. Almost a little Zolkin-esque of waiting to get better actions. Just love this game so much. How you have your board with your enclosures and scoring and all this stuff. However, it is the most frustrating thing to win a game with a total score of 3 or something like that, because you get your final score and it's like, oh, I have -1 points. Did I win? I don't know how that works, but it's a great game. I love this game.
I've never scored Ark Nova. It's so weird to me. I don't know if I'm the only person that that is an overused phrase. Am I the only person? But like
you are
in the world. Yes.
But yeah, like whoever crosses their 2 score markers wins, and everyone else is like, oh, so close. I don't sit there and go, I have -4 points.
No,
Darn.
I don't. I'm the
so
same way.
weird to
I
me.
lost. I normally lose. I won them for the first time literally on Friday before coming here, so I was very happy about that.
You're playing
You sound so
solo,
happy
or-
about it.
I beat Carla, but she normally always murders me.
Well, there you go. Awesome.
Well,
I haven't played Ark Nova. I
If
don't
you
know
were
what
a
to say.
therapist, that'd be awesome.
okay.
Oh, there you
Spelled with an I.
go.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So my number one, I may get a little bit of crap for this because there is fantasy in this, because there is anthropomorphic animals, but there's a giant tree in the game.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Ocarina of Time?
I was gonna.
Ocarina of Time.
That's it.
No, my number one video game. No, this is Everdale.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you're
This was gonna be
collecting
on my
sticks
list.
and
Yeah.
stuff, and I mean, there's
Berries.
animals and you're doing stuff, but you are doing your little fantasy tableau of different animal characters. Animals just always feel naturey to me. This feels like it's not nature themed, but it gives me that feel as you're playing through the game, going through the different seasons as the game progresses, and building up all your little animals in your tableau and collecting your sticks and berries and things like that. It just gives
I
you
agree. I
a
love
nature
it.
vibe. I understand if people don't think it's super naturey.
Look,
and
they're giving
true to
me
life.
crap for Ark Nova not being nature.
But Mike has my back.
No, they're giving you crap for point salad.
look,
I want to be
no,
very
I've got
clear.
more comments
No,
for
I
Ark
do wanna
Nova
say-
than Point Salad.
I disagree.
Most-
You need to count.
Most of the games on my list, honestly, because I'm not that huge into nature, I'm just kind of like, oh, they're games. This one I actually really like.
Yeah,
I
it's a
love
great
Everdale.
game.
Everdale's a lot of
Great
fun.
game.
So here's the thing. I did not consider this because I don't consider it a nature game. I think it's a nature setting, not a nature theme, and that doesn't sell
you
me on
mean?
nature. But what you're saying makes sense for you, and I appreciate it because of that. I appreciate what you're saying
Yeah,
is like,
you do you,
but it
Roy.
makes you feel nature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think for that, like, it's valid for you. It's not for me, if that makes
Whoa.
sense. You know, like
Be
Yeah,
your own
uncomfortable.
truth.
right,
Oh, this
exactly.
is, this is making me wildly uncomfortable.
I-
Sorry, guys. Oh,
This is what makes you
This
uncomfortable.
really?
yeah, I'm
Me
starting to
taking
twitch.
Roy's back,
No,
even
no,
though I
no,
disagree
no.
with him.
No,
This
I'll
is what-
tell you
Listen, I've had to
I'll tell
sit
you
in
later.
between you two this entire time, and this is a dangerous place to be.
You're fine.
Well, the violence
Man up.
is only
Let
coming
me have
one
Everdale,
direction. I
please.
just have silly
yeah,
comments.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
I think
joking.
it's more. This is more of a setting for me. So for me, I don't feel nature in this, you know. But
Gotcha.
for you, you do, and I think that that's valid. It's more the setting that is kind of selling you on
I've
it,
been
and that
seen.
works.
I
I'm
am valid.
taking
There you
the
go.
same
Roy,
validation
you
for
had a
Ark
good
Nova.
pick.
I'm taking the same validation for Ark Nova because, yeah, we don't have anacondas in Mobile, Alabama. If I want to appreciate anacondas, I'm going to the zoo.
No one appreciates anacondas.
No, they don't.
Definitely
No.
not Ice Cube.
Not John Voight either. They
don't want none.
Let's move on from from that.
We tried to figure this out the other day. It was-
Wow, dang, I'm spacing the moment. But, I agree with what you're saying there, right? Like, for example, I didn't put Root or Everdell on my list because...
I should have put Root.
But I put, like, Ohanami on my list, which is clearly not very thematic.
22!
Like, but it's a good set. It's a good
Yeah.
setting, and for
Yeah.
me, it makes me appreciate the nature of it.
Right. Mhm.
But my number one is indeed a crossover with you. Helen. This is Meadow.
Thank you, Mike. That's the Ruby Tuesday is the best greenhouse there is. I'm just telling you.
Meadow is such a great game. I love the gameplay of it, but I also love that this is one of those games that is the mechanisms and the thematic approach are so intrinsically tied to each other. I'm gonna go on
Absolutely.
a grandpa story time here.
Oh, Lord, I'm excited.
While also being a hipster, and I'm going to say that I was the first person at the Dice that played Meadow. We got an early copy in. It was like a pre-production copy, and so we said, well, we're not going to review it, right? We'll wait for the real one. So I was curious because on the back it said from the design team of Dream Home, which is one of my favorite really lightweight games. So I thought, I'll just take it home, I'll just play it just for fun. I came back to the office, I said to Tom, I think that there's something really special about this game.
Did Chris just first comment on this game?
Absolutely. I'm gonna have
Grandpa Chris,
I'm gonna have one claim to fame, and it's this. When I play this, I think this game's gonna be a big deal because of how beautiful it is and everything, but also the fact that what you described earlier, the way that you build up your tableau of cards is wildly thematic for being purely icon-driven mechanisms.
Mechanisms, right? Yes.
Boy, y'all read into it more than I did, I guess. It's good. I like it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just never noticed that before. Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. Now I'm going to go play it again.
Because you don't understand nature. I mean, if you did, you would see.
You don't
it.
even know if that's a stoat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Obviously, that's an astute point of view there.
Hey, thanks for the super chat, Kurt. We appreciate that.
Oh boy.
Kurt, clearly you're not watching the same video that I've been watching.
Come on.
But
You've been watching the video?
Yeah,
That was your first mistake. You're supposed to be in the
I
video.
can't not. It's like I see myself. I'm like, hey.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But I like what
I
you
want
said
to
earlier.
apologize,
We talk a
especially
lot-
to nature.
We talk a lot about like Lord of the Rings in a box or Star Wars in a box, and it's just that's a funny way. I've never heard someone say that before. Meadow for you, and I agree, is like nature in a box. It's going on a walk, on a little hike, and just taking it all in a box.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's how I feel about
Fantastic.
point salad. 'Cause I get that
Fantastic
salad
choice.
in a box from Publix. It's nature in a box.
So that's my number one, and thankfully we don't have to listen to Bryan talk anymore.
Until we play Earth, which I don't know
We're
if I told
kicking
you,
you
I'm
out.
excited
No,
about playing
no.
Earth.
I'm going straight to HR. We're going to be a little longer between streams here, guys. Bear with us.
Check out
but we will be
Bambi.com
back.
for HR help because we don't have it.
We really need one of those like screens. It's like, "Brrr."
Oh yeah, we did have a sensor bar pop up before.
Yeah.
Oh, if you just
Yeah, can we do? No, no, can we just do like yeah, we need a horizontal. I'm sorry, vertical. We need a vertical sensor bar.
There we go.
Oh man! All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us
Yeah.
on today's nature list. Are there any particular ones that you want to shout out really quick that you didn't include? Not you.
No, you're done.
Definitely like a big.
Floriferous, of course, that was one, and gosh, I had a bunch of them, but
I
now
did pick Meadow. I picked it first on this list. I was just higher up on the list. So
Yeah.
First comment.
I will say that even though this isn't like really like a theme that I dig on, it's really
Same.
cool that there are cool, solid games in all sorts of
Yeah.
different themes for everyone. And
I
there's
agree.
so many great nature games, and it's cool to see everybody enjoy them. So.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Cascadia was so close on my list, and that's just a great example of exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, and there's a lot. It's like, ooh, this one or that one, and there's
Yeah.
just so many good. Joe, thank you for the super chat. Glad you were here in the chat. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you all.
Thank you. Nature salad. Thanks, it's out.
Well, anyway, until next, make sure to come back here in. I can't see the clock.
14 minutes or what?
Is it? I don't. Is it a time or is it going into the stream?
It's at noon.
Oh,
Right?
it's at noon.
Oh, it's at
sorry.
noon. Oh,
There we go.
ooh,
About 40 minutes.
45
40
minutes.
Yeah, come back in 40 minutes here if you're joining us live during the Spring Spectacular to watch the last block where we're going to be playing what
Earth.
game? Oh,
And I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
We have a top 10 from Graham.
and then
Yes.
we'll be ending it all with Thunder Road Vendetta. So make sure to come back
Thunder
for the next
Road.
block. Until next time.
Is that a nature?
And Thunder Road is a nature game
'Cause
because you're
you're in
driving
dirt?
a car on
Yeah,
the dirt.
no, you're wrong.
Dirt is nature.
We're good.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
And I'm Rory Kennedy.
And I am Bryan Drake.
We'll see you later.